When learning French, verbs are where meaning lives. They tell us who is doing something and when it happens. Today we are working with the most common verb group in French, regular verbs that end in er, used in the present indicative tense. Once you understand this lesson, you unlock hundreds of verbs. In French, verbs are grouped by their endings in the infinitive form. The infinitive is the base form of the verb, like to speak, to work, or to study. In French, many infinitives end in er. For example, parler, aimer, travailler, habiter, étudier, regarder. In fact, more than 80% of French verbs belong to this ER family. The present indicative is used to talk about habits, routines, facts, what is happening now. For example, I live in Paris. She works in a cafe. We study French. French uses the present tense in a very similar way. Every French verb has two main parts, the stem and the ending. For regular ER verbs, the stem never changes. For example, parler. The infinitive is parler. You remove the ER and the stem is parle. Here are the endings used in the indicative present. These endings are the same for all regular ER verbs. Let's do a full conjugation of the verb parler. Je parle, tu parles, il parle, elle parle, on parle, nous parlons, vous parlez, il parle, elle parle. Although the endings look different, many of them sound identical when spoken. Let's try a second one. Aimer. J'aime, tu aimes, il aime, elle aime, on aime, nous aimons, vous aimez, ils aiment, elles aiment. Je becomes a J apostrophe before a vowel or a silent H. Habiter. J'habite, tu habites, il habite, nous habitons, vous habitez, ils habitent. Bonjour, tu t'appelles comment? Je m'appelle Paul, j'habite à Paris. Tu travailles à Paris? Oui, je travaille dans un bureau. Tu étudies quoi? J'étudie le français. Tu étudies beaucoup? Oui, j'étudie tous les jours. Tu regardes la télé le soir? Parfois, je regarde un film. Tu écoutes de la musique? Oui, j'écoute de la musique française. Here is a longer list of verbs you will hear and use often. Marcher, penser, demander, chercher, aider, jouer, visiter, arriver, rester. They all follow exactly the same pattern. To make a sentence negative in French, we use ne pas. For example, je travaille, je ne travaille pas. This works with all the verbs. Je parle français, je ne parle pas français. In spoken French, questions are often very simple. Tu parles français? Tu travailles ici? Tu aimes le café? Same verb, same conjugation. Je m'appelle Luca. J'habite à Paris et je travaille dans un petit restaurant. Le matin, je me lève tôt. Je regarde la rue et j'écoute les bruits de la ville. À 8 heures, je travaille. À midi, je mange avec mes collègues. Nous parlons français et nous aimons le café. Nous rions et nous restons un peu ensemble. L'après-midi, je travaille encore. Je parle avec les clients et j'aide mes collègues. Le soir, je rentre chez moi. Je regarde un film et j'écoute de la musique. Je pense à ma journée et j'aime ma vie à Paris. Regular ER verbs are the backbone of French. You remove the ER, you add your endings, you speak with confidence. Once this pattern is solid, French verbs stop feeling confusing and start feeling structured and friendly. If you're just starting with French, you're in the right place. Subscribe for step-by-step lessons and comment below with your first French sentence using an ER verb. À bientôt!